Hi, how are you, my friend?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Valaron Kalanen Firuvante. That is by the light of the Valar, they will die.
Oh
Which
God. I was wondering what he said.
because I'm just saying we're gonna have composure here, it's gonna be classy, it's gonna be Tolkienian, it's gonna be scholarly, but just to be really unfettered off the bat, I can hear all the screeching orc haters just die because the series is actually out now, Ashley. How does the day find you, my friend?
Very well.
Okay.
How
Do you
about
want to?
you?
Very good. Did you want to stay hidden or did you want to go camera? It's up to you.
I wasn't sure.
Okay.
I haven't done a Zoom in a while. Oh,
Oh,
there I am.
hello. Okay, well
Hello.
now you'd be denying the inner outer beauty. Come on, please. We all and out on Deer, as you heard him say, which I've been saying over and over. Thank you. Is beauty and beauty's great power to heal, and I just found that to be the classiest way to call someone beautiful. You know what I mean?
Seriously, like that would
Yeah.
be in a few years. That's going to be like the best pickup line ever.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All the
All
little
the nerds at Comic Con are like writing down.
Most certainly. And so it'll just be yourself, the sister of the Shire.
Abby should be joining soon.
If I can just do a pantomime actually of like this is Albert listening to, not the best day that I was having. I was like, sister of the Shire, and this is my face. And I immediately just the mood lifted, and I was like, "Oh my God, Tolkienian Ernest is alive and living within these two women."
And it's funny as I'm like getting to know you, like I was going through your followers just to like see like who you had, and like Aquabats, like I'm like going through like, are we like soulmates from afar? I'm not
Kind of.
sure.
I think straight up. I think in some I get that theory of like there was some kind of timeline where the two people either grew up together or like just had spent a couple of lifetimes as friends, but then you get those lucky moments where those timelines merge, at least energetically, if not chronologically. And so then
Right.
yes, very much so vibe kindred right here. Big hugs. But yeah, Aquabats are amazing. Gratitude overwhelm happening right now.
Oh,
Um,
both ways,
because
dude.
for sure. We're sort of in the pre-show now, and it's the vibes. What are the vibes on your end with everything?
Okay. I am like also part of me is like, yes,
Mhm.
yes. But then part of
Yes.
me is like,
Okay.
I don't have a reference. Like every other movie we've had a reference, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, who is this guy? Like
Yeah. Yeah. I
so
know.
I mean, yes, it's nice to hear a new story, but also I'm like, I need to have the the background.
Yeah, I know. And I get that. And that's one thing is even though I'm like unfetteredly just loving on the show for so many reasons. I think in a comment recently I said, look, if you really do think about the sort of amassed artistry, like the condensation of the amount of art and artists working on this,
Yeah.
right? And then obviously you have that art and commerce dance that has been going on since Caravaggio. It's like, oh, Emperor whatever commissioned that whatever Sistine Chapel, all that stuff. Um, so there's that element to it, but as you probably maybe experience when you're like replying to comments, it's like, hey, I'm weirdly discovering my thought about this because I've been asked this question
Yeah.
or because I've been prompted to reply in kind. And it was again, this person was like well intentionedly mocking the show, and then I'm just like I'm on such, and it's like because there are, as you heard, I don't know, on the social media, 25 million views worldwide across the first 24 hours.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
again, art of a certain level of quality speaks for itself. It doesn't need like champions or anything. But for me,
Right.
because there's been instances in the past where there have been things I've really loved that because of this snowball narrative of negativity, then it just becomes this online truth. And then companies are because like since 2010 or whatever, like the advent of people being like my voice counts and I get to shape this sort of pseudo decision making. It just, yeah, it kind of got to me, and I just said, look, if you really think about the level of music and the costumes, especially Gil-galad, which we're going to get into, just that
I
whole
thoughts on that.
coronation. Am I right? So you have but I'm just talking just the livery, just like we're going to look at all the different components, then the music and the Foley artists and all of this.
Sorry,
It's
Abby's trying to get on.
That's okay. Abby's doing her thing, but yeah, big giant word salad, essentially,
Yeah.
to just say
Word
that.
salad.
That's
Is
right. I know.
is
You
that
do
an
your thing.
Australian term?
Maybe we're gonna learn. Got to be lots of learning from each other. It's gonna be good.
I love that you play with your hair. You should watch what we do, what Abby and
Just
I do
constantly.
when we're just constantly, I'm like sitting like all cross-legged. I'm like trying, I look very professional, right? I
Yes,
am not
yes, indeed.
actually.
No, that's all good.
It's
You're
making
totally
you
fine.
100% more real to me, and I absolutely love it.
The love is real. The love is real. So how is she faring in this? In her,
She's trying to set up. She says,
I
"Is
just
there a
imagine.
Zoom link?"
Okay, there is a Zoom link, and I'll just send it to the chat where you can send it to her. But wait a minute. So
Okay.
she doesn't have access to the Sisters of the Shire. That's just you then, I guess. The Instagram.
We switch back and forth.
Oh,
I'm mainly am on it, but yeah, we switch
okay.
back and forth.
Well, allow me
Um,
to send you linkies. Linkies are forthcoming. I imagine her
okay.
dueling with like this figurative Zoom Balrog, like trying to get in to
Yeah.
the call.
Let me in.
Which is the opposite of you
You
shall not
shall not
pass.
pass.
So
Yeah,
you're
so I was saying
saying
like
that
you shall not pass doesn't quite.
okay, Ashley, theory confirmed. Eric Andre is the opposite of, it's because that meme of "let me in." Have you
Oh
seen
yeah.
that? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, all right. Focus, Albert. Having too much fun. Oh, here she comes. I told you, she's a
Oh,
Valar. She's a
did you find
Maya.
it?
She just figured it out.
There she
Abigail,
is.
hi.
Abby.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was
Valaron,
moving.
Valaron Kalanen, Viruvante.
I was moving my laptop and it fell. So I was
Oh
That
trying to
is,
like
we
make
were
sure
we were
everything was okay. I was
Abigail.
like, oh
First
gosh,
of
oh
all,
gosh.
I love you, and we all love you, and thank you for being who you are, doing what you do. Same with you, Ashley. We love you. I love you. Lots of love
I
all around from
gotcha.
Australia. We were creating this headcanon of you fighting this like technology Balrog, just trying to get into the Zoom call.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I have a big lump. I don't know if you can see it. See that
Oh
big lump
wow,
right there? Because
you
it
actually
fell on
have.
my arm when it was falling down.
Okay, yeah. So you
So
have actually been fighting, and that makes
yes,
me
I have. I have the war wounds
There you go.
to
So
But you
to
know how you heal it, right? Apparently, we learned you have to heal
it's
it through
through beauty.
what? Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. I don't do it.
that
Oh,
we were
by
talking
the
about
way,
before.
and he was being so earnest with it too, and I loved it. And there was just that lovely, that undefeatable earnestness which you guys like have in your hearts and live from, and it makes me so grateful. Just second by second, knowing Sisters of the Shire exists, each of you in the world. I'm like, oh wow, actual increase of faith in humanity. There you go. But yeah, so yeah, in the show he turns to Bronwyn, and I have theories about their history because he's been there for 79 years.
I was like, so he watched her
And
as a baby, right? Like he
kinda,
saw her
straight up.
grow up. Like, is
Mhm.
that creepy
Yeah.
or not creepy?
Indeed. And all I'll say, this is something that I just observed from a costume design, character design point of view. Theo's ears have not been revealed yet. That's all I'm going to say. Right. That's just a thought that I had, which would add an extra
Yeah.
layer, which would add an extra
Yeah.
layer of like, wait a minute. So he's got slightly, because I think he's Australian, but he has this sort of, yeah, like that beautiful blended cappuccino kind
Yeah.
of, yeah. And Bronwyn doesn't necessarily have that, right? And so then
Yeah.
there's that scene of him, and like snapping back at that other kid of like, I don't know where my father is. It's like, well, maybe he's just looking over
Maybe.
at keeping watch over you. That's a
Maybe.
little teaser for the listeners and viewers watching. But as you heard me, just very much like loss of composure tastic with these two. What am I supposed to do with you?
Kosher tastic.
Yeah. So
We're just supposed to like have fun. I
okay,
think.
that's true.
And we're having it.
We are indeed. So for those who aren't aware, and you shouldn't be, and if you aren't aware, I cast you out from this podcast for being so ignorant, but also I bring you in and hug you and say, well, now let me have the honor of introducing you to the Sisters of the Shire, this beautiful podcast,
you.
which I'll do it again because I did Valaron Kalan Furuvante, which is by the light of the Valor they shall die, all the haters, finally, they can die now. Abigail, they're all dying right now. That's so good. Just burning up in the sun of just actual positivity. But yes, I want to just give you a little mini what is it, interpretive dance performance of that day when I was like, it wasn't the best day, and I was like in this mood, and then I just Sister of the Shire, and I just like as soon as I start playing, and it's just like, okay, yes, the pure earnest and lovely and just born from just true earnest joy, positivity. Tolkien positivity is alive in the world.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I wrote that review, and I've just been tagging away. You've been very patient with the tagging. I hope that's we can discuss tagging terms right now if you prefer.
Oh no,
we love it.
You do. Okay. We love it. We'll take anything.
Okay.
We're just like, wait, someone likes us?
Yeah. Oh my God. Enough. I won't have that. I will not have that said here. Okay, so but now let's go, I guess, because we were riffing Ashley and I earlier. So Abigail, how does the day find you?
Great.
Other than the laptop falling on you.
Other than my laptop jumping off. He did a what is it? What is his dad who jumps off a cliff?
Oh.
Or he jumps off.
Denethor.
Yeah, Denethor. Like my laptop did a Denethor and jumped off the desk.
Fantastic.
And
right after eating some tomatoes.
Yeah, but it's been pretty good. We're enjoying the last few bits of summer before my kids start school on Tuesday. So we're just
I refuse to believe you guys are mothers. I think that's a big conspiracy. You both have big uni student energy eternally. I think having a certain earnestness, unfilteredness, but positivity literally keeps you young. Like, it's just so well done. You bloody elves.
This is why we're best friends. Is we both like are in this like mode of we're adults disguise. We're in disguise.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I appreciate that.
We're cosplaying as adults right now.
Yeah.
Yes, well, exactly.
Just love, only love. Okay. So, but it's fun to just like love on each other. That's great. We could just do that. That's very Harfoot energy right there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But
I've been loving that in the new show. They're so cute.
That actress.
Michaela Kavanagh,
so talented. So talented.
Poppy's adorable, and I love her.
Yeah.
Totally. And her little she looks like she has a little fawn, headband.
Oh yeah. I knew it reminded me of something.
They you know why they wear them? It's so that it's camouflage. So that if they have to they have to hide it.
And Nori has like little apples and stuff in her hair. Oh,
yeah,
they're so cute. I
do have to say, I don't want to nitpick, but some of them look like they're on accident. Like they just ran through a brush. So and there's certain times with I mean, maybe, yeah, you never know. And like with the dwarfs too, like I was trying so hard not to nitpick, but I'm like, that looks fake. Like,
okay, hey, it's
some of the dwarfs were like, yes, 100%. You, I don't know.
There's one particular shot which I say after I spoke with JD and there's and I mean the New York panel, they talked about this. JD and Patrick energy is this show. Like they put themselves literally on screen. All that I'll say is like just for season 2 this will be the story that'll probably do this naturally anyway, but there's just like from what is it, the first couple of Harry Potter films going darker and sentences get shorter and the story gets more focused. That'll happen anyway. But
I have to turn off the I have to turn off the brightness on my TV. Like, I can't see anything.
Yeah. Did you guys pick up on the intro of episode 2? It's the cymatics. So it's the grains of sand coming together. Yeah.
So that's cool.
And now, Ashley, a little mini symbolism quiz. What does that allude to? The use of music. Well, it's the music of the. There you go.
Yeah, because it's like sound waves making all the
world of Lord of the Rings was begun with song and sand, and that's why the black grains come in, and that's Melkor coming in. right?
Yeah, I saw the
It's-
same thing. It was so
Mm.
trippy.
Yeah.
That's right. These particular patterns the cymatics create are also significant. So one of the rings is there's 9 rings. And that's a natural thing that the vibrations do. So they must have done the same kind of OCD they had with, like, we're going to do that title reveal. They're going to forge, like, in actual metal, the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. And I was just witnessing this. I'm like, in this age where there are so many CGI shortcuts, like they actually filmed that. They figured out, they contacted a cymatics artist to make that happen.
That's crazy.
I think I was distracted the whole time. I'm like, how do they even do that? I was even like focusing on the symbols. I'm like, how are they? What is that? Like, I was just so like ADD, like can't concentrate on what's happening. I need to watch it like 30 more times.
That's right. And I think we're just going to have parties for these ones. I was going to go sequentially. Maybe we'll do that later. But also, this is a giant throng. Everyone needs to talk over each other and have a bunch of fun. That's what we're all about. If there's something you specifically like, hey, I noticed this, Albert, just be like, you should battering ram into the conversation.
Abby and I talk over each other all the time. That is like 90% of my editing.
So that's your editing. Oh, excellent. And you guys are just audio. Do you think you might go video at some point?
I don't know.
Do I have to be the guy? You guys would be perfect audio. Once again, out on Deer's line about inner and outer beauty. You would be beautiful with it. I think you're beautiful if you do it. There you go. And if you weren't, I'd be like, you know what? Maybe just keep the camera off. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't say but very blessedly, you're blessed, both of you. So consider it.
Yeah.
I think consider it.
Yeah, I want to do something for that. We were thinking of doing like a short kind of stint to watch some parts of the Lord of the Rings musical.
Oh.
That we wanted to like kind of watch it together, but I was like, I kind of feel like we need to like show us at the same time.
Yeah,
so we might do that for that because I feel like just listening to somebody watch something is like
no,
a little hard.
I have to give you feedback as your Oceania region manager. Okay, I've installed myself.
That role. I'll take it.
I've installed myself. Oceania and parts of Indonesia. I don't know. Nice. My feedback to you is well done. Seriously, like the Instagram is this wholesome, entertaining, amusing, meme-filled goodness, but the show itself is, as well as with this peppered, humor, and these lovely little asides that you take. You guys are friends of the tangent.
Tangents.
Your guys is, that's your actual sibling name, Ashley and Abby. Tangent friend.
Yes,
that would be our
but genuinely, like, so elucidating, and said, and you probably heard this in your reviews, in a very approachable, digestible, human way. So thank you for being human. Human is a good thing to be.
Thank you. That's exactly what we were going for.
Oh, you're making me blush. Oh,
had to be said.
Yeah,
I was a little bit clamped. Oh my god, Mike Myers reference.
Yes.
Now I'm doing Mike Myers from Cat in the Hat, which is terrible.
I know. I was like,
I'm a superfundiferous feline,
yes.
which will make you meline, turpentine. I like that movie. Sorry. Okay, we have to be careful because the kinship is so real. We could have sisters.
We
of
would
Dune,
go for hours.
Sisters of Star Wars. Sisters. Can we have
honorary brother?
Okay, you are very much honorary.
Honorary brother of the Shire.
For shizbiz, let there be many more, and there will be. There will. This is the next 10 years at least.
Oh yeah.
Right. Oh my goodness. So
I'm
folks,
curious what time you had to do it there though.
When we're recording. But I'm constantly trying to find the best place for my hands to rest to make the Zoom mask happy. So I'm just, you can see my amazing bed in the background. It's cool. Usually we just do the weekends, and again, please let me know in advance whenever we have to like do beautiful dances around your lovely schedules. And it's very, the Topic Podcast Network is the most, it's, as well as we're doing that, like, most eclectic, which is insert anything. It's like the topic, whatever topic, podcast, it's out there.
Yeah.
And I'm that level of insane that we have about 600 that I've created across Instagram.
Nice.
And Disney weren't quick enough. I grabbed Disney podcast, so that's mine as well. So we're going to have some fun. You eclectic boffins. But going around the table, I'm glad you're both in good health, but now I just want random moments for you guys in these first two. And then we'll sort of tangent off from there. If I were to just ink blot like Rorschach, it's like, what's a moment in either of these episodes that just first thing that comes to mind for you, Ashley? Oh, you, Abby.
Okay, sorry. I was just like,
okay.
Ashley can go first.
Go, Abby. I'm
Okay.
thinking.
No,
I'm
Ashley
thinking.
can go first. Sorry, my
Do you have a child?
no. My husband came in and said, "What do I put the enchiladas in for?"
Okay, he has just become. I'm going to rename this episode the Oath of the Sons of the Enchilada.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Abby hasn't gotten there yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That's next week.
Ooh.
Wait, what?
Enchiladas. We haven't talked about
fine,
enchiladas. You know,
Okay.
Tolkien talks. He has there's a whole chapter dedicated to enchiladas in these Silmarillion. Yes. This is amazing, and I'm such a fan. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, excellent. This makes me very happy. I need to see.
Have you seen the new Thor?
I have, and
Where
not the newest one, but feel free to spoil. But we have to talk about God of War with this guy. Like, is he a big God of War guy? Like, we have to.
So he
Okay, excellent.
in the newest Thor, the weapons come into screen like that. Like,
that's incredible.
Don't forget about me.
Yeah.
Like, it's like really funny. So that's like,
Okay.
if you see the new Thor, you would understand.
So Taika's just over the pond for us in New Zealand, and What We Do in the Shadows. That's all I gotta say.
Oh my gosh, I love that show. I haven't watched the new season yet.
You guys,
Okay, sorry, I'm not at that one. Sorry, I don't know that one.
I love it.
You would like it, Ashley, because it's all I don't know. It's a vibe that I'm getting. We've had so many kind of vibe sync. So I think you like coziness, don't you? Like just the idea. And this show, because it's a vampire show, it's basically always at night, and there's always candles and leather couches, and so just on that very basic aesthetic level, just hanging out with these vampires who are just so hapless in their house, and they're talking about like trying to make it, trying to go for it, you know, trying to live their best vampire life. It's far better than the film. I mean, the film is okay, but the film really did exist to beget this. Can I spoil one thing, Abigail, to her? Have you told her anything about this show?
No.
Okay.
But it's one of my favorites. I'll tell you that. Trust my judgment, Ashley.
I think this might tip her over. So there's different kinds of vampires, Ashley, and one of their roommates, because it's a bunch of vampires living together like roommates, and one of them is an energy vampire, which we all know an energy vampire, and he's literally just a guy. I think he's the bald guy from Better Call Saul, and he just sucks the life out of people because he's so boring.
Like, he loves to work in a cubicle, and he'll stand there and like, Mondays, am I right? And he'll talk, and then you just see the people slowly going like this. Like,
it's great.
It's pretty good.
That is hilarious.
Okay, Sisters of the Vampires podcast coming soon. Sisters of the Shadows.
Show. Yeah. Okay, so back to
Yes.
I was really excited if you asked that question. We're going back to the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So I just watched the second one, and for the scene, oh my gosh, it I don't know why it hit me so hard, but the part where Elrond is taking, oh my gosh, she has a long name, Kelly, yeah,
Brimby.
Brimbor, blah, 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 blah. And he is a fellow artisan, he makes stuff, and he builds and he creates. And I love how he was the line that they gave him was so beautiful. He's how they carve the rock like they're caring for an elderly loved one. And I'm I was that's so pretty. And then and then when
nitpicked on that though, how would they know?
Yeah.
Well, I just it was so pretty because I was cool. He's so, and I love when Elrond was I didn't know that you appreciated them so much. And he's like, of course I appreciated them. They're beautiful craftsmen, and they're like,
yeah.
so like they love what they do. And then the whole scene with the dwarves, like I love Durin's wife. She's so great.
Oh,
I think
Disa.
Yes.
so-
I needed some more humor, just like a little bit. I just needed
Yeah.
a little bit of comic relief in there, and that was
I know she's so cute.
it.
But like when his face when he was like, and when they were about to do like the challenge, and they're like, and then you can never come back to dwarf lands, and his face was like, wait, but I thought it was your friend. And I'm like, oh gosh. And then when they're on the elevator and he's like, you missed my wedding and you missed me having kids, and he was like all sad, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then when Elrond like just put his hand over him, he's like, congratulations, friend. I was like, oh gosh, that was like the perfect thing to say, instead of like, yes, he said sorry, but like him knowing that's all he wanted. Like, I'm so happy for you. I'm like, that is such good writing. It's so good. I was so happy with that.
Yeah.
And then just like the writing, like what they say is so beautiful. I'm like, thank you for sticking to like the beauty of how they speak in Lord of the Rings and in Tolkien. And like they don't, I don't know, it's like poetry of some kind, like sometimes like it's very beautiful, just like common conversations. I'm like, oh, like him talking about how like lovely they treat the mountain, and that they sing to the mountain and all. I'm like, oh my
I
gosh,
loved that singing,
so
the
good.
resonating concept.
Yeah.
I know. And then my other favorite part was the Ents from the first episode. I was like, oh,
Of
there they are. I was
Yeah.
like, there they are.
She
But,
said, I like told me, did you see them? She's like, wait, hold on. She had to rewind.
Yeah, we were texting back and forth, and I'm like,
Aw.
she's like, did you see the Ents? I'm like, hold on. And like, I had to like go back.
So you guys are doing a little bit of a sort of co-watching, like at the same time, kind of
Yeah,
thing?
we were
Little
like,
bit,
okay,
yeah.
we're gonna start now, and then we like
That's
watch
wonderful.
it together, and then we just text each other.
Yeah.
But,
That makes me very,
that
very
part
happy.
Okay,
made
my
me
baby's
so-
asleep. Is your baby asleep?
Yeah, I finally got my kids down. Okay, let's go. But I just, that part was so, I don't know, it just made me feel it was very comforting. Like it was very like, oh, okay, like it
Reminiscent.
still has that like heart feeling of like, oh, it's so beautiful, and it's such a lovely like environment that I'm like, okay, I liked that. That was good. And plus Khazad-dûm was gorgeous. And I'm like, oh,
The lights. Doom, yeah. And
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun,
Because,
dun, dun,
I mean,
dun,
the
dun.
visual that we see in
It's all black.
the Fellowship is all gross and covered in
Yeah.
cobwebs and all that stuff. And so to finally see it like a working city and see like them farming and like all that stuff, I'm like, oh,
The lights using mirrors, like beautiful
Yeah.
dwarven mirrors. So you lovelies, in 8 minutes, for some reason, it's like we didn't
Oh, yeah.
register your Zoom Premium, bleh. So here is I'm just gonna send you the dates.
I was wondering, you looked a little quizzical at some
I
of the
was
things
like-
you were saying. I'm like, I don't
like-
think that matches up.
what they happening, and so I'm just gonna send you the what they happening. I'm just gonna send you the bloody Zoom invites. Okay, I love it. So you actually are the sole editor. That's your deal. I think
Oh, of the
That's-
podcast, yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
she's
The
pretty
OCD.
cool.
The OCD.
Yeah.
There you go.
I let her do that. Like,
So grab that, shove it in a notepad, mates, and then click it and put the code in when it's time in 7 minutes. Oh my
Oh,
goodness!
I clicked
That's-
it now.
No, don't click it yet. Don't take it back.
Okay.
Just in 7
take it
minutes.
back. Okay.
So I wanted to
Luckily, it didn't
actually.
explode.
I wanted to read back the exact Brimby quote here because I've got the episode in front of how they're sort of heading. Indeed, this thing about aged parents, because I think we should address everything. We shouldn't just let them slide. You know, the Prince Durin is an old and dear friend, almost like a brother to me. I've heard the dwarves have greatly expanded their halls of late. They sculpt the rock with the respect of one who cares for an aged parent. I've long
they
wanted
know.
to see them more. Yeah, and my thing there is obviously Brimby is very old, and it's very unlikely that he wouldn't have put out some kind of feelers, maybe read some dwarven Jules Smith Gazette or something. Like it's very unlikely that.
He gets a subscription.
Yeah. So he would have heard, in Game of Thrones they have ravens or whatever. That's not me making excuses. It's just something potentially to quench the Ashley flame.
And I have to stop myself being nitpicky, but I was like,
cool. No, I mean nitpicks are opportunities. They're opportunities for discourse. You're not hate picking. You're nitpicking.
No, not hating.
I think also personally, I think it's them living so long that they saw them become who they are. So I feel like he saw them become dwarves, and then he because Elrond, I mean, he said he was his friend, so for Durin, so I feel like they had communication. They were with them for a little while, so I feel like he knew who he was, and before they started mining all these beautiful things. So I think he saw them start out and knew that was another thing that I thought was really cool is how much they are referencing the Aule and all the
Aule's beard.
Aule's beard, yes.
But they
incredible
talk about them because in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and stuff, you don't talk about them. They don't talk about them anymore. So I think it's really cool that they're
it's more recent history.
That's still their God, not God, but their person and their I mean he did create them. So
what I say it as is the unexpected Jurassic Park reference. They have or the Fifth Element reference. Do you know how they have you've seen the Fifth Element, both of you, right?
Yes.
It's been a long time, but yeah.
They find a hand in this wreckage, and they beautifully take the DNA of the hand and they reconstruct Mila Jovovich out of it. Well, the Rings of Power is the rest of Mila Jovovich, The hand is the one thing that Tolkien wrote. And all you would really need is two extremely earnest. I mean, I spoke to JD. He has a bit of John Ronald Reuel Tolkien spirit in him. He is that earnest, and I think he brought up there's that religious component for him too. I met his wife too, Rachel, an opera singer. She's lovely. She's actually going to be on the show down the line as well.
Amazing.
There you go, fantastic. And then hopefully JD, when he's not as busy, they're settled back down in London now, where they've moved from San Jose. Imagine that, moving from San Jose, California to London.
A little different.
They'll need
again,
layers.
This is a huge chunk of their lives, But yeah, that when I think of this opportunity now, that, as you said, it's now it's everyone can breathe. We're not just worried about that little kind of narrow thing of what we've seen him write. And I'm sure if Tolkien was, I mean, he wrote like an elf, with this idea of him living forever, and I'm so glad he did.
Yeah.
We wish that would that it could have been that he could have lived forever and just kept writing, but he would have been. All he'd be doing is, John Howe actually told the Tolkien professor, who I also met at the premiere, now I have this opportunity to whatever. Well, you guys are coming to any, we've got Avatar coming up, because that's how it worked. Varking from Fellowship of Fans, he had a ticket allotment. When I get a ticket allotment for anything, you guys are going to be like, can you come? And you're gonna have to
do come with free childcare. Is that it?
Hey, we've got grandmas.
This is true. Exactly. This is true.
We'll massage that in, but that's very much in you guys' future. I mean, I have to, in some way, just show the kinship for
That'd
sure.
That'd be so fun.
Yes,
please. But basically, he was saying to John was saying, now as a concept artist, I'm not another weirdly Jurassic Park reference. You know how they're on the jeeps. The jeeps are on rails. They can't go anywhere else. They can't rove. And suddenly he's like, for me, it was now we can go anywhere. I don't have to peek over the fence at what Cand would look like, or what all of these different far off regions. We're going to be able to see the most infinitesimally small details of this one beautiful rain swept shrine dedicated to this Valar or that Maiar or whatever. And
Yeah.
and he as a concept artist is like, this is, you know, just more than I can handle, really, the level of being able to go everywhere. And so whenever we do hear little tidbits that allude to just aspects of the characters or the lore we've never heard before, I just find that so welcoming. But we do need the Ashleys of the world to be like, hold on 1 second, and then we just open a discussion.
I have a list now.
There we have a list. Okay, so
You pull out a clipboard.
That's it. Instead of waiting 1
Scroll.
minute, indeed.
Yeah.
I'll jump off this one, just jump in the new one, and we'll go from there. Okay. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Now
so,
Abby's lost again.
Abby's lost again. To the fight begins again. I tell you what. So you guys don't use Zoom to record. You use something else, right?
Yeah, we use Podcastle.
Podcastle.
I haven't done the video on Podcastle yet, but
this is something that
I just liked their editing. I just liked their editing platform better.
Yeah, fun. When Abby joins us, I have a big reveal for you both. Indeed. I know. Let me see if I can find it here. There we go. Okay. This is a preview for you only, Ashley. Ready?
It's so pretty.
And yeah, I'm gonna send you. Where my chocolate set pick. I did enjoy the South Park concert recently. That was lots of fun. I don't know what you chuck on in the background when you're editing, but for me it was the South Park concert.
I usually try, and I need to find a better one. If you know of a better one, I usually try those like Lord of the Rings ambiance things.
Oh yeah.
But
those are nice, aren't they?
Yeah. But the last few ones I've done, they it's like supposed to be like 4 hours long, and you think it'd be 4 hours of different music. No, it repeats over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
And then there's one that randomly has singing in it. I'm like, wait, I thought this was supposed to be an instrumental.
You have to. I mean, there's enough on the internet out there that you can fine tune and find exactly what you're looking for. I listened, okay, because we have the Hogwarts Legacy stuff we're doing, Wizarding World, all the common rooms were revealed recently, and I saw this image of this because the Hufflepuff common room has been like fully beautifully revealed and like so wonderfully designed. Talk about cozy. And I was like, I've never.
Hold on, which house are you? I'm like trying
probably
a Hufflepuff.
No, which house am I?
No,
I'm a Ravenclaw.
You are, okay.
I am, and you're a Gryffindor.
I'm like half and half with Ravenclaw and Gryffindor. Yeah.
Okay, I can dig it. Yeah. Feathery high five. There you go. Yeah. No, but because their sigil is the badger, and I was like, I'm feeling pretty cozy today. Done all the tidying, and I just put on a documentary about like the British countryside, and this like this softly spoken British dude. He's actually one of the guys he's like a cameraman. One of David Attenborough's cameraman is like longtime cameraman. And working with this man for that many years, it would mellow you out, and to the point. And he's speaking so softly, and he's just talking about like, you wouldn't believe the creatures that I'd encounter in my backyard. And I'm like, this is great. Thank you. So I will send you that exact documentary. And he
please.
Talks about like the specific movements of like, I was waiting for this fox to appear.
I'm sorry. It sounds even better in your accent. Like it just makes it even better.
But that's him.
Like you don't even have to try putting on accent. It's just natural.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, Lucky. Aussies are just weird British people. We're just, like basically. But Americans and Aussies have that same thing of like, fuck you, England. So we have a connection that way.
We do.
Fun. You first.
Oh, I was just trying to think of there was a book that talks about Americans and Australians being together, and it was Boys in the Boat. Have you ever read Boys in the Boat? It's actually a very good book.
Boat. No, that's
it's
necessary.
Completely random, but if you ever wanted to know about
kinship, I like that. We designed our capital after Washington. That's how much little brother energy. Yeah, Canberra. That's where I live right now. Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Okay.
the rowing team that
Mhm.
made it to the U.S. Olympics in 1936, the
Oh,
Hitler Olympics.
oh, heavy. See, that's heavy.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to checking that out. Man, I mean, we did
Sorry,
some
it's a
like
random.
that's cool. Hey,
Yeah, I
you
came in
gotta
on this conversation at a
There you
very
are.
good time. All I heard
Abby.
was Hitler Olympics. Back
Abby.
again.
I think we can all agree that
Abby's back.
we're just yeah,
Sorry.
I know. We're just
Tell a friend.
you guys mad uni student energy never change, and I love just this podcast is just bouncing all over the walls. Okay, I don't know
Yes.
if you want to do this. This is going to make some people roll their eyes, but close your both close your eyes. I'm sending this to the show. Okay, I'm going to try and make sure the Zoom mask doesn't clip it out. Close your eyes. I'm sending this to the sisters of the. Okay, you can open your eyes. All right, so this is one of
What
the
is that?
ones. This is so silver embossed and stuff. So it's from the premiere. That's for you guys. So I will send that in a little card, and you can add that to your little sisters of the Shire. Shine. So you were energy. I mean, you were there, and you were there in my heart. So
Oh,
you need to
I
have that
appreciate
there.
it.
And
that's so
Thank you.
cool you got to go. That you earned it though. You earned all your hard work being able to get over there.
Ooh.
Like they were like,
That was the only
Love
reason
to
I
have
say you're a
you.
Hufflepuff is because your networking skills and actually like yeah, like you're like extrovert, like reaching out to people. Like that is
Oh my
very
God.
difficult for Abby and I.
You don't know the truth. This is insane. I'm actually a massive introvert. Like my so I chuck a nori
It took
brandy
a lot
foot.
out of you then.
Yeah, I took a I chuck a nori brandy foot every morning, which is I just have you ever wondered what's out there? You know, like I try to completely defy my own nature to do that. But and then you have those wonderful things where like no one planned for us to be sat next to JD, you know, the showrunner guy. And
Amazing.
he again, there was just a sense that they've just been on this circuit for a while, you know, and you can pick up on that on a body language level. And they're sitting down, and there was even a moment where the like head of Amazon Studios lady, she was like, "Wow, this is a big crowd." Because I was, you know, I came from Canberra. This thing, you know, it you know, 6 flights all up. Like, so when I was there, I was fucking losing it.
You're like,
just
yes!
amped as fuck. And there's that thing when you're at premieres or whatever, it's like who starts the applause, but my hands were moving before I could think. At each of and every single time I applauded for like a character coming on screen, like the whole fucking place applauded. And
yes.
and
It's like me in a Marvel movie.
That's it. And the main thing, yes.
I know him.
That's right. And the main thing with him was there was a sense that, I mean, as the showrunners, they cop it, so to speak. You know, they're the ones where the buck stops for the show. So there's an immense amount of pressure. And I just kind of opened this direct beam of communicating from like the deepest part of me to what I hope is the deepest part of you. It's like we can see the amount of effort, the amount of trust you've place in this team, the you know, these tiny little tidbits. I actually shoved him in the shoulder when we were watching the intro to episode 2, and I said, that's cymatics, that's like, you know, that's pattern art made with sound, well done. And then I go back to watching, and then I feel a shove on my shoulder, and he's like, yeah man, thanks for noticing, you know. So there was this great sense of him, because I was able to be like, you know, Tolkien himself was someone who by definition, like we will always remember him as someone who paid attention to the details and was this advocate.
A little too much in some cases.
That's right. But yeah.
But still loving. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's right. But who was this, like he lived, like he like the space that he lived from, like he lived as this like advocate for I said this to Ismael Cruz Cordova in some way as well when I met the Arandir guy, that we are in a bit of an instant gratification era, bit of a eroding attention spans era. So
yes.
And what you guys are doing is you're kind of standing alongside Tolkien with this sense of wanting to create something that requires presence, or that has a lot of depth to it, and a lot of just and there's so many scenes that breathe as well. So I just said like, thank you for being who you are, doing what you do with this endeavor, and I said in my little letter that I handed to Elrond like a little messenger. I handed to Aramayo, just super like I just ran up to him and gave that to him, where I just said Tolkien's own work is unsurpassable, but I think your work in its own way will also be unsurpassable, and kind of you guys will share that kinship. And so the guy just big love to him, and but what is important that as we I know it was a fun thing, and you guys are coming to the Avatar premiere. You guys
That's just so cool you got to do that. That's so cool.
You guys are coming to season.
You earned it.
Sisters, you'll be inviting me, I promise, to Sisters of the Shire. There's going to be actually I like to specifically manifest these things, because that's, if you're wondering like, oh, how did you make it happen, it's like, because I do this thing of you put these energy things out there, and then they snowball into things actually happening. And I told Ray, I said, in 2022 we're going to New York for some premiere. I'm not sure what. I was thinking Avatar, but then this happened. So for the season 2 premiere, which is actually going to be a lot more comfortable, I think, because now it'll have had a nice year or so to just settle into the sort of pop culture fabric.
Yeah.
And you guys, I'm like I said, you were there with me energetically for the first one, and you will be there in person. Like, I will, whatever I can do, you guys are coming. Like,
yes,
you have to come, and we'll figure out kids and stuff,
Yeah,
for sure. And then
those kids.
By season 5, they'll be coming with you in person.
Yes, for sure.
They'll be dedicated. I will indoctrinate them enough that they'll be like, "Let's go!" And I'm like, "Yes."
Indeed. So, bouncing off the wall, fun times. But with Sisters of the Shire podcast, if I may ask, as one of your avid listeners, this wonderful, Silma read through that you're doing, which I'm loving so much, will you sort of split off and do a mini show just about Rings of Power, recapping each episode, or how's it going to go with you guys?
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Maybe just doing little mini episodes of like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just us saying, what? Huh? Did you see that? And no reference to anything else.
No analysis, no theories, just what? That's excellent. Oh my.
No, we're just going to talk about Elrond's cheekbones the whole time.
Okay. Well, then I would like to. Now my Italian side's going to come out. I'm just bundling you both in a giant podcast hug, and it means that every time we record, for us it's Fellowship Fridays here in Australia at 11 a.m. that's when they drop. So on the Saturday, whatever, Sunday, if this timing works for you guys, I would love to just if you wanted to, we could do breakdowns and stuff. I think that would be kind of neat.
That's fun.
For sure.
Funzaries in that case. And by the end, you guys will be talking.
Funzaries?
Funzaries. Funzoes. Funzoes. Fun times.
What is that? Is that an Australian thing?
Yeah. having fun days.
Sorry,
fun
I'm
days.
Like,
we have an expression. We have an expression in Australia. It's like, I'm not here to fuck spiders, which means
I'm not either.
Which is another way of saying I'm not here to waste time.
So that makes sense.
Have these. Give me I don't know, like an
I love
Americaism.
Other countries so much. Okay. America's so boring compared to America.
What's a fun American way to say?
Yeah.
What's a fun time?
Yeah.
What's a fun American way?
Funzos.
We're gonna have a blast.
We're so boring.
Have a blast. I love having
a
blast.
Or it's gonna be a hoot.
Hoot.
I do love
a hoot and a half. A hoot and a half.
I do love a hoot, Nanny. I do love a hoot, Nanny.
It's gonna be a hoot.
Big fan of you guys. I really love the Sisters of the Shire.
Yeah. I feel like, okay, I'm sorry. I think there's a guy on TikTok who does it so well.
Oh, yeah.
And the prompt is like, if he'll do different ones for like Harry Potter and like Lord of the Rings if they're from the South. And he did one from Harry Potter, and he's like, and I went up to that Potter house and I saw that guy and I was like, Abedacadabra. Like he's like that. But I'm like, but he does it for Lord of the Rings too. And then there's another guy too who does it.
Just put it on the stories, Abby.
While playing, like he's sitting on his porch and he's playing his banjo, but he's playing Concerning Hobbits, and he'll like talk like in a really southern drawl, like reading Lord of the Rings. Like he's like, it's so good.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
In the
I'll have-
edit, Albert, do not be lazy. I'm watching you, Albert, in the edit. If you don't put that clip, I will never speak to you again.
What if the Lord of the Rings was in the South?
This is the story of Frodo and the Ring. It's one of my favorite stories. Frodo was really courageous, the most famous of all the hobbits. But I'm leaving out a chief character, Samwise the Brave. See, Frodo wouldn't have gotten very far without Sam.
It's going to be very
I'll
tough
have
to
to
not speak to
find it.
myself again.
I'll have to find it.
Okay,
But
thank
the
you.
Harry Potter guys do it. I say that now to my kids. I'm
Yes.
like, Abracadabra.
He took my door. I just
Yeah.
love the South Park. Okay.
Okay.
So I have it
Speaking of
running.
accents. Oh, sorry.
No, go. I love tangents. Thank you for battering ramming in.
So
Go.
speaking of that, I love that the dwarves are Scottish. Sorry.
Okay,
That's
that
just
was
me.
my thing. Okay, so are the hobbits Irish?
Yes.
The dwarves are Scottish.
I feel like
And
the hobbits are kind of like English Irish. They're
Yeah.
very like country English to me.
yeah,
Like they're more
it's world. I can't. I'm horrible with accents, but when she says world, it's
World.
not.
Yeah.
World.
Yes.
World.
Yes, you got it.
I love, but it's like very country. Like they kept
Mhm.
a accent that, like, if you went back in history over, that's what it would be. Like
Mhm.
how they would talk in
Mhm.
England or in
Mhm.
Ireland, like that kind of country accent. I'm like, perfect, good job, guys. You like
Yeah.
did your research of like they didn't have proper like English
Yeah.
accents. They're like they got to be country. Like they
Yeah.
live in the country. They are rustic. They're, you know,
Mhm.
it's I love it. That attention to
love it.
detail is like
Indeed.
so good.
You just gave me an idea. I'm gonna try something crazy. I'm gonna try and share my screen and play. I'm serious. Like play the episode ? Can I do that? And then we can like talk the fuck over it. How fucking cool is that?
Okay,
Anyway.
that's what I wanted to do for the Lord of the Rings musical. thing.
Okay. Okay. So let me
I
see.
mean,
if
just-
this-
Oh,
Wait, that's what I was.
Right.
That's what I was trying to say, Abby. But I can't talk.
oh, we get to see his orders. What? Did he
Yeah,
order?
please. What did I order?
Oh.
That's right.
Oh
All
my
those
gosh, you don't want to
pantyhose.
know mine. You don't want to know mine.
Check out.
Husband's
out.
out of town.
You guys. There you are. Okay, so fingers crossed. And can you see this happening?
It's
Yes,
loading.
Damn
Loading.
it! Of course not. Oh, I can scrub through previews. So previews will work, but of course you can't see
Okay.
anything. Yeah.
This part.
Hmm.
Freaking elves know origami.
Yes, I love that.
The coolest origami.
I love that
Well,
because
my
of-
husband was like, "Can that really work?" And I'm like, "I wish." I
No.
yeah. So this
Someone
is-
make it happen.
so you can see that
And why
preview,
did you
right?
pick it up with a knife?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So that's we can jerry rig this thing, I guess. But you can't see the actual screen because the actual screen's gone black, obviously. Yeah, you can't see that. That makes sense. And now, yeah, you can only hear the audio, can you?
It's like
I
I
can see
can
the
read
subtitles.
I can read the subtitles.
Subtitles. Okay, well that's not too bad.
So,
then.
Love subtitles.
It's
So-
like when you tried to take a screenshot for Disney, like if you're watching something on your phone for Disney Plus,
Mhm.
try to take a screenshot, it will be black. It won't be a
Okay.
screenshot.
Well, you know what?
That's what I was
Um,
worried would happen if we tried the Lord of the Rings musical thing.
Don't you guys even worry your pretty little heads about that? Don't worry about that. In that case, what we're going to do is from episode 3 onwards, don't worry, I think I know how to we'll just have the episode playing. It'll be much more streamlined. So then we can actually talk over the episode itself, which should, avert any kind of YouTube, whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
copyright stuff. But I think
That
this-
was my other question too, is copyright rules. I don't
Indeed.
know law things.
don't know.
I will play dumb. I don't
That's
know.
right.
I think, yeah.
Did I do something bad?
Everything is under fair use.
I think when people do watch parties like that and they record,
Yeah.
they are watching it together, like they can see it together, but the person later watching it, us watching it, can't see the screen.
Right.
If that makes
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I am going to.
Yeah.
If you know how to do that,
I will.
we might
Yeah.
invite you on our Lord of the Rings musical episode too, because we don't know how to do that.
I will show you. I will show you all the things. Yes. Some things that cannot be discussed. I will find ways, and don't you worry about a thing. So you start this episode. What I love about the episode starting is that it's music on black screen. Do you remember that?
And Galadriel talking, just like in the other ones.
That's right.
I feel it in the water. I feel it in the air.
That's right. And then you have the beautiful Valinor theme, which I've been humming around the house. Na 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 na. So that would be 12 notes, but the first statement of it is 7 and 7. You know.
Wow.
Exactly.
Huh. See,
Galadriel.
that detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And
Yeah.
we got a little bit into the show, but we didn't get like we told you, like we were trying to keep it fresh and trying not to like spoil things for ourselves. And so like I'm just now like deep diving into these things. So
Like,
please bring on those details because we didn't do that before.
Totally. In the first episode of this podcast, I really big up to you guys for specifically kind of embodying what something just crystallized. Abby, I was telling Ashley, like sometimes when you're in this podcast community, someone asks you a question or you're in a comment, you're typing and like, actually, that is what I think about that. And that's after hearing you guys' podcast, I was like, that's what's great about podcasts is that they're this digestive organ. Like you can just, as you are like receiving and absorbing this information, like because of the context of a podcast, that close viewing, you're able to spend this time with it. And with a podcast, like you can't really check your phone too much. There's this focus it's this ability to get more out of the thing you love. So then podcasts become essentially like little things that you can even visit later, but like these little love letters to the thing that you love, and you literally get the more out of it. It's like people who chew their food too quickly, they don't get the nutrients, but because podcasts let you go at that deliberate pace, like you're actually extracting every single narrative, aesthetic, thematic
Well, that's like a Neil Gaiman quote. He loves doing audiobooks. He loves narrating his own books because you get to listen to it at the pace that I set. You can't just skim through the book. You have to listen to every word that I say.
Yeah.
There you go. So as we go along with these, which I'm so glad, that all just took shape, listeners, viewers, everybody, that just took shape here. We didn't discuss this before. And if anything comes up as well, there's never any pressure. I'll never be like, you guys didn't make the recording date. I don't care about that. Fuck that. I'm not a scarce person. Lots of abundance. Lots of Australian abundance to you all. But for these ones, I think that'll be really additive. I like that word, additive.
Yeah.
So we begin in song against darkness, which is again, evocative of just the very beginnings before the beginning, And then, speaking of beginnings, nothing is evil in the beginning. What a wonderful, wonderful first line for first thought, first script. And I just also love that the very first word of that sentence is nothing. Nothing is evil, because the world began with nothing. So once again, I'm just such a nerd for these specific choices because they're all deliberate, especially. Nothing is evil in the beginning. And the first word after nothing obviously is like, and suddenly it was, air, it exists. Nothing is evil. Evil was the first, Melkor. He was the first, and the greatest. So nothing is evil in the beginning. Nothing is evil in the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Yeah, I get that in depth. Also, Galadriel's theme, if I can remember it off the top of my head later. But it has 11 notes to it. 11, right? And then Galadriel very Galadriel very much is an elf that's like turned up to 11. She's just hardcore and has that Stranger Things 11 energy almost. Like she has this piercing ambition to just she's an anti-complacency elemental, which I really love.
I was like, what is she even gonna do in Valinor anyway? Sorry to jump ahead, but
Well,
She's gonna be so bored. You just want her to sit home and knit. Like
that's
Yeah.
basically, yeah. And she really claps back by saying, "You'll just leave me there with these eternal, like I won't be able to do anything with them. At least here in Middle Earth, I can address my concerns, I can address my worries, but you would have me live them forever." And that's not friendship. Like that's not solving it. And
Right.
Yeah.
what a great
you
line.
can be my friend.
Yeah.
That's not like a full-time job, dude. Like,
Yeah. That's right.
sorry, I just thought that line was so kind of
Yeah.
weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I also have other stuff I want to do.
Hey, Elrond was trying to do what the best of us, especially guys, like we just try to say the right thing, but it just
Yeah.
you know what? I can imagine the screen going black and white and then Bob Odenkirk's voice going, "You blew it."
Yeah.
I love Tim and Eric as well. Oh my god, do you guys know who Tim and Eric are?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Okay. But what were you gonna say, Abby?
Petite feet. Did you ever
Yes.
watch Petite Feet?
Feminine step. Sounds like a lady when she's walking in the room.
See, I knew you guys would be more best friends than me. It's okay.
No,
It's
the-
okay.
No, the love is real, Ashley. Love you lots.
I just like going along with what you're saying that Elrond was trying to say the right thing. I think he's like it's hard for him because he's like, I don't want you to like go and hurt yourself, and he's like, I care for you. Of like you're kind of getting a little manic of like trying to figure everything out, but then I think the like you kind of don't see him very much in the beginning of like who he is. They kind of just like throw you in of like, okay, and this is Elrond, and you're like, okay, and then his character arc is already like going like 0 to 60 so fast that I'm like, okay, like I'm so excited for him. Like I'm so excited to learn more about him.
Yeah.
Like,
and Abby doesn't know anything about his backstory.
Yeah.
but like it's just really cool that they're like giving us that like a lot to hold on to with his character, which I'm like, okay, because like some other characters, I don't know, like in I want to say like Game of Thrones and stuff, there's so many characters that they're like, you get a little bit of this, you get a little bit of that. You're like, okay. But like with Elrond, you're like kind of like you get his I don't know how to explain it. Like you just get to know him better. Like his story is explained, not his story, but like his character is like,
oh, he's a primary character.
It goes with a good pace of like,
yes.
Okay. I even texted Ashley. I'm like, I think Elrond's growing on me. Like, because in the beginning he was like, you're like, oh, okay, here's Elrond, which I know who Elrond is, like from Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, and I know he's an important character, and I know he had a life before the Lord of the Rings story that he's a huge part of. But I'm like, okay, how are they gonna not rush through it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then this is who he is. But I'm like, the pace that they're going at was like, he had a friend, and he like a dwarf friend, and he's friends with Galadriel, and he's learning to be this. I'm like, okay, good. They're not rushing through it. They're like, this is who he is. I'm like, yay! Like, we're getting to know him. Like, so you can like fall in love with that character. Does that make sense? Which I'm sort of not getting with Galadriel.
Hey, okay. Anything for that?
That's what I'm saying. Is like I'm loving Elrond because like they're showing this emotional, like his story. Like he had friends. He does all this stuff.
Yeah.
And with Galadriel, she's like,
she's just focused. She's just focused.
I'm mad.
Mad. You don't know why.
Yeah. I'm like, okay. Like she's super, and I know that she's like a huge character, but with how the pacing is happening, it's like it's not giving that like friend feeling that I'm feeling with Elrond's character. I'm feeling like she's very like cold, which that's who she is right now. But I'm also like, I want to like you, but I'm loving Elrond's like
very valid.
I hate you.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Ashley?
Like,
Is that I think it's because with Elrond, his character is so similar to what he is in the Lord of the Rings. He's very studious and he's very like calm and
he's
very
so
wise
thoughtful, and he's also
and very thoughtful.
kind to like all.
Galadriel in Lord of the Rings, very different than the Galadriel we're meeting now.
Very different.
So it's like you're meeting a different person, and so I feel like that's hard to
for me,
digest.
Galadriel in this series, you know, she's got a mission, as she says. In Lord of the Rings, she has the energy of someone who's just bearing witness to others. Like that's what I love also about life. It's like my tale's being told, and now I'm sort of the supporting character in this other person's tale. Well, this is where she is not at rest, she's not at peace. And I do agree that I'm interested to see the dimensionalization of her, because these first 2 episodes so far, she's just a focus elemental, and there is something to be said of you know, the second complacency settles, that's when evil rises. And there is a feeling
that a lot.
Yeah, when, you know, the elves, after 79 years, you know, Arondir and Medhor, which is a cool name as well, like him and the Watchwarden, you know, they're pulling away from the Southlands, and right then an orc, you know, appears, right? So that's like, the idea.
How come no one believes people? Like,
I know.
Yeah, it's fine.
One of the best edits of all time.
Can we talk about that kid being overly angry about mice? Like,
yes, I mean, remember
mice.
Well,
I was like, do you know how much that costs to like redo that floor, buddy?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm like, buddy, it's just mice. Like, why are you breaking the floor?
The Watchwarden
would jump scare.
Yes, the Watchwarden would have something to say to you about that, because he's like, make no mistake, we might be leaving, but don't forget that these people are descended from the supporters of Sauron. So that's why they might have a little bit of a trigger kind of angry kind of streak, but which is interesting, because my theory is that it's, you know, that Theo is Arondir's son, you know, so where would that anger come from? So we have to make sure we're not making excuses for, like, I call it TV writing, where it's like the writing is just to satisfy the scene instead of making narrative or character sense. So those mice could have just been fucking annoying, you know?
He was like I was like, okay.
Destroy the floorboard, you know.
But the other thing I noticed from this episode is they don't have OSHA laws. There's no handrails on anything. Like,
that's strictly an American thing, Abby.
There's no guardrails. Like when I was laughing because when Elrond is walking in Khazad-dûm and he's like, whoa, he's like looking all around, the mom and me was like, watch where you're going, you're on a ledge that can drop off at any second, and you're not watching where you're going. And they're like, I was like, oh my gosh, there's huge drop offs and you're on like a catwalk. I
can imagine Abby going into like her mothering style, like she goes into Heath Ledger Joker voice, like, you are on a ledge. Like, you need to have some self-preservation.
I say the same thing about Star Wars movies. Where are the guardrails on any of those things?
Okay, one of my favorite Abby comments when we were texting each other throughout the thing was when they got to Khazad-dûm. She's like, no horses? Like, they just walked there? And then I was thinking, like, there's no baggage, there's no, like...
No, and then when the watch guard elf and Bronwyn walked to that other city, I was like, where are their horses? She is not an elf. She does not have that stamina to walk all that.
She actually saddled Arondir up, like Monty Python. That's right.
Onward.
I'm sure there's going to be...
She held on to his ears and then...
All right.
Okay, what was the quote? Knife ears?
Knife ears, which is a Dragon Age thing.
Really? Okay, but I was
there you go.
Of all of the things,
they couldn't choose anything else. They're beautiful. They're smart. They're awesome. They're like, what can we make fun of them for? They're pointy ears that are also beautiful.
Okay, can we talk about their armor for a second? Abby and I were trying to figure out what was on his armor.
I thought it looked very... I said it was an ent. I said it was an ent.
I kept thinking of the trees from Game of Thrones, but that's obviously not the same thing. But I could not stop thinking about that.
I think it's also maybe personally my thought is like the Valar, like how they look like to them, like very naturey looking.
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Like
So which
interesting.
Valar would that be then?
I think they're all parts of the earth. So what is the Earth Valar? What's his name?
Aule. Aule.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Aule.
I like Aule.
Aule.
I say it how I want.
That's
That
right.
sounds more beautiful. But that's how I feel like they kind of looked. They looked more made from things like that. I can see, because you know how like when deities, they like make them, like when they carve statues or whatever,
Greek
they, like,
gods,
make
statues,
them to what they represent. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. So that's what my thought was, is that that's what, like, it's protecting them, you know?
Yeah.
What is
That
Okay.
was my my
All right.
addition. My thought. I was like, maybe it's an ent, but it looked too man.
Yeah.
This is where I need to activate and get my analysis on.
Looks like it's made out of wood,
It is.
which would be so uncomfortable. Like,
But
so uncomfortable.
what is it? Yeah, what is it made out of?
I don't know if it's an ent, because how would ents feel being carved out of wood?
Before you continue, I have to do the cat meme. Ready? Like,
Yeah.
there you go. So now that's green screened in.
But
So within yes.
yeah, I
yes,
think
yes.
I don't know. It's really beautiful.
It is. It is. Okay, well,
that's probably why he's standing like this all the time.
Indeed.
Doesn't he not?
Ashley, what is your theory of what Arondir's breastplate depicts?
I don't have a lot of theories on it. I could not get over the Game of Thrones image of the trees. Like that's it just stopped me. No more thoughts.
Painted your thoughts.
Yes.
It's a green
Go
man.
ahead.
Okay. So it's very clearly, especially with the sort of the leaves coming off the side of the face. It's a green man, which is like a British figure in folklore. And this actually, yes, but this actually goes in line with something that someone picked up on about how Tolkien's inspirations in like outside of Lord of the Rings inspirations are somehow finding their way into the story. So Sadok Burrows, for example, and I'll show you when we zoom in, his kind of star charts and stuff.
Found a really cool thing about him.
I do
I'm
like
so
that.
excited.
I mean, the shaman Harfoot, like, come on, like such.
But
an
did you know that
adorable.
his head? He's the shrunken head from Prisoners of Azkaban.
Hey, Ashley, why the long faces?
Take it away, Aaron.
Yeah, take it away, Ernie. We're going to be.
I went through like an
bumpy ride.
IMDb like rabbit hole after I saw the
Yeah.
episode.
I have.
He's a sir. I want to know that story.
I've known him since I was a baby, since I was tiny.
I bet.
It's because he was in this charity comedy show called Secret Policeman's Ball. And I know, right? And yeah, he's such a funny guy, and he has. Yeah. Okay, one of his things is called bad jokes.
I'm talking about bad jokes. Got to have bad jokes. A man was in a hospital bed. Ooh, good God. The doctor said, I've got some good news and some bad news. The man said, I'll watch the bad news. And the doc said, we've had to amputate both your legs. He said, ooh, good God. What's the good news? And the doc said, the man in the next bed wants to buy your slippers. And let me hear you sing it. I said, bad joke.
I was trying so hard not to go on Instagram like the day after because Abby and I were going to watch it that night. I was like, I can't. But I saw one that was, did you see that there was possibly an ent child?
Yes, the enting. That's right, what they're called, little bears. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew Abby didn't see that.
Sapling.
That's right. Adorable. But let's continue audio only. In fact, maybe it's a bit apropos since, things began in like song and music in darkness. So I still have it on my phone here, but just give it 10 more minutes. Okay. So stick tapping, children laughing. So these kids, I don't know, they're very mean. And
I know. I was like,
But
Very-
I was thinking about this
Ashy.
though. So if Finrod, sorry, those
Finrod.
names are
that's okay.
donkulous. He's supposed to be like a prince. So she's a princess. So
Yes.
she's the princess playing with the
Do you reckon they're
peasants,
the-
for lack
do you
of a
reckon they're the
better
peasants?
word.
They might.
Do they even have peasants? But like you can just see like the kids being like, spoiled kid,
Yeah.
So I kind of like, okay. It took me a minute, but like, yeah. I want to know
Plus,
why everyone
kids
wears
can be
white.
jerks sometimes.
Yes, yes.
But
What
why
I love
is
about
everyone wearing white?
I mean, the obvious answer is innocence,
Right.
Um,
But they're
Unspoiled.
children. Have you ever
That's
seen a
right.
child wear white?
but
Yeah.
but also
it doesn't last
Finrod's
very
wearing
long.
Finrod's wearing white. When they head off with that beautiful sunset shot, it's also like just white gleaming, and this thing of and there was a time when the world was so young, there hadn't even been a sunrise. But even so, there had not yet been a sunrise. I'm just having the episode like running, but even then there was light with Weasley Elf, which is great, and
So cute.
but like, I like these sort of Ashley asides. It's like the Ashley tangents. It's important, But my theory, I like that. My
I have
theory
many
is
of
that
them.
indeed, Ashley's notes. I'll figure out graphics and design things and everything down the line. But to answer your question about why they're wearing white, that's the thing of this idea of they didn't really. Maybe it's like this sort of primal thing of like. I get, at least symbolically for me, that registers of like an unspoiled world, a world that hasn't known war, a world that hasn't known all of these, the white unspoiled.
Well,
and
and
then
I also think of it as like, they're all even. They're
Yes.
all
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
same.
but they still have
No peasants.
princes.
Yeah,
But-
they all know that they're like equal. You know what I mean? Like,
Interesting.
I think that kind of symbolizes that.
But then another thing I noticed is jumping ahead, but when they're sailing to Valinor, they're like taking off all their armor. Why do they have to be like down to their undergarments like to go into Valinor? Like
This is going to be
And
so
we-
good because
you
I have
never
answers
know,
for
you
that
never know.
too.
You never know. Galadriel might be hiding weapons under there.
But then my other thing,
it's like in
applause to
Miss
Lord-
Congeniality where she's just like pulling out all the weapons like, from everywhere. Like,
and like
Now I
Keely does that too. Keely and
Oh,
Keely
yeah.
with the
Yeah.
knives everywhere.
What
But
were you
the
saying,
other
Ashley?
thing I didn't, they did a good job with men don't really think about this very much unless you're a naughty boy, but white, wet woman, not a good combination for film.
They did it really well.
Like there was that scene where she like flopped up onto the little like wreckage thing. I was like, oh no, here's the
Uh-huh.
part. Oh no, I don't. Oh, okay, we're good. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
I was like, all right.
okay, we're good.
Clever
Um,
editors. Also, I have to say this, and this will sometimes happen. This was like 30 minutes ago, but why was I making all those Jurassic Park things coming out of nowhere? It's because J.A. Bayona, the director of these two episodes, directed Jurassic World Dominion or whatever the fuck, like Jurassic World. That's why I was like, why is Jurassic Park niggling at the back of my head and giving me all these metaphor inspirations? We finally got a Mexican in Middle Earth. Sorry, Guillermo, that's okay. But it didn't work with The Hobbit. But you also produced and presented the orphanage El Orfanejo. And that is why J.A. Bayona, and then it's just great. So I think hashtag Mexicans in Middle Earth, hashtag happy, hashtag
Yes.
J.A. Jurassic Lord of the Rings Park.
It's all coming together.
But yes,
Big,
Abby,
beautiful web.
sorry to interrupt.
So, that scene, sorry, that reminded me of the scene when they're going on the ship to Valinor.
Mhm.
And Ashley texted me and she's like, why does it feel evil? Like, why does
Yeah,
it feel? Why did it
I
have
had
that
that.
weird feeling? And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm feeling that too.
Okay, was it
But-
just me?
But did you feel that way?
I
Like it
have,
felt very weird.
but I don't want to interrupt, so maybe I'll wait.
Okay, so this is my thought. Is I think it was edited that way so we felt like Galadriel did that
Mhm.
she
Yeah.
didn't want to go yet. Like she was like, I know it's
This
beautiful.
isn't what I
She grew up
want.
there. She like knew that place.
Mhm.
But she's like, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I don't like the it's not that feeling yet of what's it called?
Coming home.
Mhm.
Coming home. It's that feeling of hold on, wait, no, not yet. Like so I think they edited it in a way that we felt that too, which I thought that was really cool. Like it was very much like, oh, there's my son.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello,
Hi,
cameo
Fox.
appearance. There you go. Excellent. Hey, what's up? Hey, welcome to the Lord of the Rings podcast, young one. Fantastic.
This
But
is Fox,
okay, when they were like reaching
named
for the
after
light
Fox
though.
Mulder from X-Files.
He's just jumping in the background and is just becoming more and more endearing by the second. And now he's doing a battle cry, and I'm just the love is real. Fantastic.
You can talk
That's okay.
Ashley.
Go, Ashley. What
Okay.
did you have thoughts on that? Go for it.
But like I couldn't think of the movie, but I kept thinking like they think it's so
Hi. Baby cameo.
They think it's so innocent and they're like reaching for the light, but I would have like expected them to like burn or something. Like
Yes.
I don't know
Well,
why
now
I had this weird feeling. Do you know why?
I do. So
Okay.
I believe this is
No.
adorable. Okay, Abby, this is okay. So what are your thoughts, young master?
Also,
Squeak, squeak.
another sister
Squeak,
of
squeak.
the Shire who also comments on in our podcast.
Very good. That is a young
Squeak,
master.
squeak, squeaking. Squeak,
Little-
squeak, squeaker.
See. Okay, you are amazing because Emperor's New Groove is one of the greatest films of all time. Thank you.
Abby's favorite.
Okay, just you're making it so hard because of how fucking kindred you guys are. I just the wrong lever.
Stay on
I
track.
just love it.
Stay on track.
No,
Stay on track.
my husband and I always
Abby,
say,
no, I never liked your spinach
Squeaker.
puffs.
McSqueakin? Squeaker.
Never.
Squeakin?
Sharp rocks at the bottom. Bring it
Yes. Yeah. Or we also say, my spinach puffs. Whenever I'm
spinach
like
puffs. Yeah.
cooking in the
I never liked them. And think
Never
if
liked
you ever just want to shut someone down, it's like I never liked your spinach puffs. Never. Even if they've never made spinach puffs before. Yeah. Oh God. Okay. See
A
now.
big stupid monkey. A big stupid monkey named Kronk.
So for all of the DeviantArt people, we definitely need Bronwyn riding out on deer by the ears. Thank you for that, Abigail.
Yes.
Before.
And she goes,
Um,
onward, like
we
this.
we need someone to do. Oh, that's right, a map of all of because certain characters can map to others. Like who from Rings of Power is Pacha, and who from Rings of Power is Galadriel, etc. So we have to see the full season though first. Absolutely.
Right.
You guys. Okay.
I want more crossover memes. They're my favorite ever. Yes.
I
I
agree.
just want more of that adorable little hobbit man who just like hops
When he
Yes,
appeared-
that first one.
and his eyes were like, "Wee!"
He's in
I'm
something
like,
else, but I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
is
I was
he
like,
in Abby?
You're adorable.
He's in
When
something
I'll
else.
it's almost ready, but when like that very first introduction. So all of these very deliberate, like what's the first frame? For example, this is for all of the Fantastic Beasts films. Every one of the films opens with a shot of Grindelwald being evil, and then the next sequence is we encounter Newt, but we always encounter him from behind, like cinematographically. Like that's a weird sort of editing,
Trademark.
storytelling consistency, which is like evil,
Yeah.
but then who rises to conquer that evil? It's good, it's Newt, etc. So it's like that's why I love that there's all the symbolism that can be divined and gleaned from cinematographical choices, dialogue choices, and music symbolism choices. Again, Albert, don't be lazy in the edit. Ben McCreary chimed in on Twitter with me with one of the theories I had of Sauron's theme, because Sauron's theme is 10 notes. Da, 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 da,
Yeah.
da, da, da. So, which is One Ring to rule 9 lords and the Nazgul. And then I was like, maybe we're going to be looking at, how there's a big theory that Halbrand is one of
10
the
notes and you have a villain.
Yes. So Halbrand is one of the front runners for, like, he's going to be a Nazgul. Like, he'll rise to be a king of men. And
I mean, he shoved those people off the boat real fast.
That's
did
a
not
Nazgul
even
move.
think about it.
And he's like,
Nazgul move.
I did not
even think
get
about
his character at all. It did not. That felt very unnatural to me. I nitpicking, sorry, but like,
cool.
She's trying to get on the boat, and he's like, some may sway. He has that whole thing about like the tide flowing in. She's like, dude, I just put on the boat. Like, don't give me
like, okay, can you let me on? I've literally been swimming for like a day. Can you just let me on here, please?
Which is a reference to, obviously, Mel Brooks, Robin Hood, Men in Tights. He just swims the whole English Channel.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even make that connection. That made my day. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're a Mel Brooks family here, but yes.
Okay, tell me,
were
you feeling that?
I was about to say, thank you, actually, Abby.
Awful feeling of like,
yes,
ooh, I don't
there
want
is
to go. Or like, don't go yet. Yes.
So there's a movie called Logan's Run. Have you seen that? Back in the 70s. This is Carousel from Logan's Run. It's this ceremony that basically the premise of Logan's Run is that it is this society where it's a domed city that as soon as someone turns 23, I think, they experience what is called carousel, and they float up into the sky, and it is believed that they go into this heaven. But what's actually happening is that they're being levitated up to like a spire of some kind, and they become deatomized, like they get killed, and
yeah, that does kind of link with what I was
with what you were saying.
I figured it out too, is the Indiana Jones.
Yes.
So I was telling Albert when they're like reaching for the light, I'm like, why is a part of me thinking that they're gonna like be vaporized?
Oh, they're gonna be vaporized.
Their arm is just gonna get
yeah. And I know you might be like, well,
Terminator.
Yeah, you might be like, well, Galadriel grew up in Valinor. What are you talking about? The Undying Lands. It's once again, it could be figurative. It could be, again, just to kind of impart the idea, like, you don't come back from the Undying Lands. Like, that's the whole point. You don't come back. And there's a thing in Tolkien.
And there was another thing that I wasn't
beauty. Yeah, that's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Abby would know. Is later, after things have happened, Valinor was cloaked. So no one could find it, like even on accident. That's why it was all like
yes.
What is it called?
Yeah, I couldn't think of what it's called either.
Aslan.
Yes.
Aslan.
Yeah.
In Narnia. They can't. Aslan.
So in case you're wondering why it was like that, that's why. It took me a minute. I was like, wait, what? Oh, yeah.
I think it's they portray it as like not death, because they don't die that way. Like, this is how they're like, this is their retirement home. Like, there you go.
That's right. And Gil-galad's sheen, which
what do they do all day? What do they do all day?
But I think they edited it very well, that it felt like that feeling of like you're dying. Like, this is like the end. And it was very like like, oh my gosh, like, this is the end.
Yeah.
And it was edited in a way that she wasn't ready yet. So it was the feeling of like, no, wait, no. Where the other ones were like, yes, like, I'm ready to go. Like, I did this. But it was very well done, that feeling, that anxiety feeling of like I don't know, like, that's like so final, like, this is it, I'm not ready. And then she like jumps out,
just jumps
out.
Like,
to me, I'm like, whoo. Like, I mean, she's in other parts of Tolkien's story, so I'm like, of course she doesn't go. But it was so well done, where you have that like visceral feeling of like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And I'm like, okay, okay. She doesn't go, but it's very different because it's so celebrated. Like, you get to go.
What an honor.
I know.
And then I'm like, well, wouldn't it feel more happy then? Like, wouldn't it feel like such a joyous thing?
But not for
yeah, I was like texting Ashley. I'm like, I feel anxiety. Like, I feel very like, I don't like it.
But I also want to know how she got in the boat with those guys that betrayed her and not punched anyone.
I know.
That's right.
Hey,
I felt like a good punch would have been in order.
Like, when he was like crowning her, he's like, and there's no more evil. It's all done. And she's like, okay. Like,
when she resisted giving him her dagger, I was like, yes, fight.
Yes.
Let's see. So you can see that, right?
Whoop.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I love that that's what you started us on.
Poor troll, by the way.
Okay, can we talk about the Galadriel sword jump thingy for 1 second?
We can indeed.
Okay,
That guy's
how many
super
times
strong.
how many times do they practice that? I want to see like your average Joe trying it, but then I also want to see like an Olympian athlete do it too. I want to know how plausible this is.
Like, to physically throw someone.
But like run up the sword. How strong are those swords? Run up the sword and then like, catapult.
They're elven made. They're probably very strong.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
I don't know. Sauron stepped on a sword and snapped it in half. So snapped it into a lot of pieces. So
Valid point.
Yes.
subtitles. I can't hear without my subtitles. I'm like, yes.
Which is again
Let's
a reference
see.
to Jurassic Park because he's like, my glasses. I can't see without my glasses.
Yes.
Albert, put the Jurassic Park away, mate. You've already.
Have you read the book?
I have, and I love it. I think the book is phenomenal. I think we're living the book right now. I know,
Yes.
like man's arrogance. There's a great line from the 2014 Godzilla, film. The arrogance of man is thinking that nature is in our control and not the other way around. Like, right there.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's
Got
why.
something there.
I mean, there's a bit of Melkor there as well. He's like, hey, I want to create things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Luna.
Mhm.
That looks like my
It does
daughter.
look like Luna.
It
Yeah.
looks like my daughter. She
Yeah.
should be Galadriel. She could.
She
She could be.
Also, this is like a sumptuously
Oh, yeah.
shot. It's so well
The
shot.
whispering thing. Was the whispering thing like remembering the instructions, or is she actually like casting some kind of a spell? Do they have spells? Does she have magical power to do
I
spells?
think
I-
she's.
I have so many questions.
I'm so glad. But don't you agree? Wouldn't this be cool? Like after every episode, we just catch up the weekend and like we will just scrub through it and actually answer all our own questions, the Ashley questions, the Abby questions, all the Albert questions as well. I also want to figure out how to go. I'll figure it out later. But the idea we can go like 0.25 speed and just like really soak it up and just talk about it. Okay. So all the idyllicness. Now, if I'm going to put the volume all the way up, can you hear the volume? Is that coming through?
No.
Like a little bit?
No, not hearing anything.
Okay.
Oh.
Well,
Eh.
visual-
Eh?
you heard a little? Leave that with me, but at least we've got visuals now. Okay? So,
Yeah.
Yes.
fantastic. Once again, this was like, we're just going to catch up. But then, oh my God, the kindredness. And like, okay, let's
Yeah.
and just, planning live as we go. So there's a record actually of all of this happening.
What?
Okay.
Is it finished yet?
Is it finished yet? Like,
Yes.
why are you guys so? Look
Oh,
at this.
look at that cute little redhead. Look
Yeah,
at it.
that's what I mean. I wonder. I mean, all of these
Okay.
have to have names. But yeah, go ahead.
Nitpicking. Some of the ears do not look natural on some of the people.
Some of them
Hey.
are a bit big.
Hey, everybody's ears are different.
That's right.
Okay.
Elrond's, it's
look how
taken me a little.
tiny
It
mine
might take
are.
me a little longer. We both know I have the tiniest ears between us, Abby. But
I could dig it. These frames. I mean, JA was like, I am a painter. There are so many frames. That phrase of every frame a painting, like from the Denis Villeneuve school of like image balancing. And look at the kids on one side the majority, and then her standing alone. Like, it's just very strong imagery.
So is this happening in Valinor right now? Is this Valinor, right?
Yeah.
Because the trees are there.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the
We're
first.
And I was like, oh no, Abby, I should have like had like a little mini episode for just Abby of explaining everything that was just in this episode.
I got it.
You got it. You got it.
Eventually there's gonna be a son.
Yes.
And this is, once again, I think I'm getting my Ashley on. Like, why would even you couldn't possibly believe that old scrap would float? Which is for me basically, and
She's an imaginative kid.
Yeah,
like
I can relate. I can relate to, I mean, just look at my Reddit post history. I'm just saying, like, this is how this is making me feel. I think this amassed amount of artistry is a 10 out of 10 just for the endeavor of it, of like what they've done, and like we all vote emotionally. Every rating is subjective. So like, don't yuck my yum. I won't yuck your yum. You know what I mean? Right? And
another Australian thing.
right.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
I have not heard that before.
Right.
It's more cultured than I've
heard it.
I thought it was an American thing, actually.
It is an American thing, Ashley.
Since when? So is this filmed? This is filmed in New Zealand. Can't you go there?
I can.
How far away are you from New Zealand? Can you go for us?
Well, you're like once again. Are you even listening? I'm trying to do a New Zealand accent. Are you listening to me, love? Like, we have to go. I can say one word in New Zealand. Epic, which is epic, like the word, like an epic storytelling. Epic. They just change e's. They just change e's and i's. That's it. But yeah, no, you guys.
That's one of my favorite from Flight of the Conchords.
Flight of the Conchords. Yeah.
When he goes, "You could be dead." He's
could be dead.
What did he do? You could be dead.
Did
what did he do?
did what? Like, no, dead. Yes. Ashley, have you seen Flight of the Conchords? Oh, you're gonna have
not the show
fun.
But
I own the DVDs.
I know you do. But we were very much on the bandwagon of when they started doing all like the little videos of like I'll be the racist dragon and Hip Hop Anonymous and
Hip Hop
what's the one?
Well, okay. It's time to blow Ashley's
It's business
mind
time.
for a second. Ready? Figwit. You know about this, don't you, Ashley?
Yeah. It's funny. He's in the Lord of the Rings universe, and the other brother is, brother, you know what I mean, is in the Disney universe.
He is, but also Jermaine Clement, who you guys will meet later this year, manifested.
He's also in the Marvel universe. Jermaine is.
Where's he?
What do you know?
He is going to be in Avatar 2. And that's actually the biggest show on the Topic Podcast Network, by the way. We're almost at 7K people, almost doing those. So he's going to be, and yeah, he writes. He's the creator of What We Do in the Shadows. So everything's coming.
Oh, okay.
And
I was trying to explain to my nephew who's knows a lot of things, but I was like, it's the guy from Flight of the Conchords in the Muppets Most Wanted, or not Muppets Most Wanted. Yeah, Muppets Most Wanted, the second one.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Movies. Christmas.
So good. Don't get us started on Muppet Christmas Carol. Don't get us started. That is like our thing.
The best.
Ashley, the love we've found. The love we've found will carry with us, so we're never quite alone. Yeah.
And Jesus for us, Mises.
Just tears. Okay. I mean,
we're not going to get anything done ever on this.
No, this is too much fun. And that's why all podcasts, I actually advocate heavily for like, hey, there are so many podcasts out there. Just find your flavor, find your fun. And if people are like, oh my God, I used to play the Muppets CD-ROM game, I'm like, I did that too. So we can talk about that. We also have a Muppets podcast. So yeah, I love designing
Muppets podcast.
We haven't. Okay, I'm going to say it again. It's the Topic Podcast Network. There's a podcast for every topic. I tried to do a Red Letter Media voice. Protagonist. Anyway, so the love is real. Okay, let's keep. And the episode title should be called "The Love Is Real." So yes, that line does imply that she's an imaginative kid who tries to stay positive, stay hopeful, but then he's trying to kind of dim her a bit and say, look, yeah, that won't float, which, and she's like, it's not going to float, it's going to sail, which is literally English. This is a Tolkien ism. That's an English teacher move. That is technically correct. It won't be floating, it will be floating. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's like, and I love that there's within about a minute of the actual episode, there's an English teacher ism, because once again, Tolkien invented Elvish before.
Right.
So he's a philologist. This man,
he loves words.
So I love that there's a little teacher clap of like, excuse me, it's not floating, hey, it's moving, it's sailing. So I love going at this deliberative a pace with things, especially with kindred people. I love you guys. Okay, and speaking of setting sail, what has the podcast done, Abby? Now that we're up and running with we have set sail. Okay,
yes,
there we go. Also, I really like this. It's fancy. You can actually make this thing, by the way. It's a real thing.
I want it. Let's make it, Abby. We should make one.
It's pretty.
So I'm trying to remember from my little family trees that I make for my little outlines. She has 4 older brothers.
Yes.
I knew it. I knew Galadriel and I were kindreds.
Yes, indeed.
I have 4 older brothers. So I very much get this like defiant energy that she's got.
Mm-hmm. Who knows? Some of them might even be. We'll have to find out later when I speak with JD. We go scrub through this sort of thing, and I'm like, "Hey, can you confirm any of the identities of these little elflings and who the ancestors they are?" Yeah. And also,
I've noticed with the on Amazon Prime, because sometimes if you like pause it or something, it will show the actors on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're watching it on a phone or tablet or something, it'll show you like who they are and who they play.
That's
but
right.
It doesn't say a lot of the character names of anybody, which I'm like
a stranger.
That is true.
They're not divulging who people are yet, which is
yes, that's true. The CG,
or they don't say their character name either.
Yes.
Like the defiant elf guy that we wanted to punch in the face. Like, you don't know his name. unless you have subtitles.
Weird face.
That was what Abby and I, what is with his face?
I was like,
no offense to the actor, but
yeah, this here obviously was what I thought upon revisiting the scene.
Yeah, I said that to my husband. I was like, oh, she made a swan boat. They have those.
So Abby doesn't know this yet. Is that because of what's going to happen? They don't make that in like memory. I can't talk about Abby. We need to do our next episode. Yeah. Are you getting what I'm trying to like cryptically say, Albert?
Yes.
What I put down? Are you picking up what I put down?
Yeah. If this is just a CG boat, I have to hand it to the CG people. It just looks absolutely real.
Yeah,
but I know that you can make. Yes. Stop, you're breaking it. Stop, obviously. And I mean, the reading for me here, once again, I just constantly looking at life through symbolism. Do you guys know about the phrase apophenia? The what it is? Apophenia is the human phenomena to ascribe meaning to patterns, often when there is no intentional meaning. However, I like to be a functional apopheniac because I find that the mental exercise of just diving into something, finding these connections, like one protagonist of some like Death Stranding with Norman Reedus, whatever, his name's Sam. His character comes back to life after every time he dies, and there's a concept called samsara, which describes that, like samsara, like the recurrence of resurrection. It's fairly likely that wasn't intentional on Hideo Kojima. Like he's the guy who created the character, but because my mind went to that lateral space, like I got a mental workout, I got a symbolic workout from that. So basically saying anyone trying to like basically dim you and say, hey, why are you going so in depth, like it's not worth it, like they didn't really intend it. It's like, well, I'm having fun and this is interesting.
Yeah.
And it's a mental exercise, it's an eclectic exercise, and it's just fun to talk about. So for me, this scene here is we're seeing so much light reflected in the water, which is what Finrod talks about. Soon as that swan floats, as soon as that swan sinks, we have this field of, I mean, they could be, if you were flipped your perspective, like that could be starlight, and then there's that shot of her like fixed staring at it. And I think that's what prompts her to obviously tackle the guy and then speak about that exact thing with her brother. I told you it wouldn't float, which also my reading here is very clearly the boat is the Rings of Power, Galadriel is JD Payne and Patrick McKay. They want, and there's a lot of people throwing a lot of criticism at the end.
Yeah,
they must have felt that early on of like
someone should make that as a meme.
yeah So, and but I just love what there's a bit of self-dialoguing here, I would say, on a creator level, where they're so unfettered and so honest about where they're at as creators that they this part of Galadriel's story is absolutely unmapped, but they found a kinship in this woman who stood aside, and she is still, even among elves, I mean, she freaks the other elves out with how like elvish she is, how imperious she is. I always found her to be, living in Lothlorien, like she just feels special even among other elves. And Tolkien felt the same way. He said like she could hold her own against like the athletes and hold her own against the scholars. And so I think even he singled her out, and JD Payne and Patrick singling her out as like to be the protagonist, I think was very wise. And I think, but there is a little bit of just sort of, putting themselves on screen here. I mean, do you guys agree a little bit?
Yeah. And also she's like the oldest. I mean, she was the only one that saw the trees, which leads me to another one of my little tangents.
Yes.
So if she's the oldest, Celebrimbor looks way older, and I could not nitpicking.
Maybe
la.
I don't know.
And then Abby and I had this conversation about the elves with short hair, which I know is a big like Tolkien hater thing, but we're like, maybe it's like an age thing, like the teenage elves have short hair, but then Celebrimbor had, or all the other elves had short hair except for Gil-galad.
Kind of reminds me of vampires.
Maybe he doesn't apply sunscreen and he got really wrinkly really fast.
You know what's vampires who like the sun? You know where they're from? Transylvania. Okay, sorry. Sorry about that. but
it's
But all I'm going to say is, Abby, go ahead, and I am sorry for interrupting.
No. It's so all her brothers gone, and she's the oldest, pretty much. But she looks like a young, like to her king who was crowning her. He was, I'm assuming, living there too. Like he knew her as well, or like living in Valinor together.
Now how Gil-galad, I don't remember where he is in the timeline.
Yeah.
But Galadriel's oldest. She's older than Elrond. She's older than Celebrimbor.
Skincare routine, Galadriel. What is your?
I think it is. It's genuinely. It's just skincare. That's it. That's what. What age?
But she also gets frostbite. Like
potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the frostbite.
It's frozen her. She's frozen.
It freezes. Also, this is so.
Freezes.
Thank you. Also, shout out to the little bridge. There you go. Also, little bridge alluding to, light and dark, and her making this connection, the transition from an innocence to.
And they were separated too. I thought that was interesting that she wasn't playing with the other kids.
She was on the other side of the water. So again, peasants. Good morning, peasant. That's from Blackadder. Yeah. So I've always found that point of, we just did a Bestodon podcast about this actually. It's like the point at which, and you guys as mamas, you would know that there's these moments when kids realize, oh, this is the way of the world. People can be this mean. Kids can be this cruel, da 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 da, you know? So those are always I mean, they're universal, like we all encounter them. Like when you realize like certain things aren't real or certain things, whatever. So I just like that the entry into this story is like we're literally learning a lesson, and there are a lot of lessons to be derived from Tolkien, but I think, and not in a moralistic way, I think one of the things the Tolkien books do very beautifully is that we come away from them with life lessons of, you know, how to be.
It doesn't spell it out for you.
No, and most certainly about like friendship. I think friendship is like, if I had to pick one thing, is Lord of the Rings, like how to be friends with each other, you know. And as what is it, Knew Better, Do Better, and my other guest, Anna Maria, they had that panel at San Diego Comic Con, and Knew Better, Do Better was like, yeah, you know, Eru Iluvatar, or rather, Eru Iluvatar. You know, anytime I speak Elvish, I must pronounce it and then look to the stars. Okay. He was like, oh yeah, elves and dwarves not meant to be friends, and then Gimli and Legolas, you know, came together. So the like friendship that literally goes in the face of like even beyond creation, or, you know, like the friendship that pierces all cosmic forces. It's like very, very lovely. What do you think he means by lose your footing again, Galadriel?
I was wondering about that too. She gets in fights a lot, and that's her comment, oh, I tripped and punched him in the face.
Yeah.
See, I thank you. See, and they've spoken like a true mom. It's like the excuses kids come up with.
Oh, no, not from a mom, from the kid that was tripping and hitting up the boys.
Yeah. It was Ashley.
That's right. Also, at any time, I can take some screen captures and send them to you guys for like meme purposes if you want. So there you go.
Oh, thank God.
Screen captures. Also, what's up? What were you gonna say?
Okay, why pick it up with a knife? Pick it up with a finger.
This is to show him. This is to show them that he always.
Cool.
I know it's to show the knife, but it was just like.
I am loved. By the way, Abby,
a cool knife.
It is very. I am really digging the Ashley-isms, right? Like taking Abby aside, like, because what they do, they literally give us perfect avenues to discuss. So for me, this thing of the knife, right? I mean, Galadriel is her brother's son, her brother's sibling, sister, and
sister.
Yeah, look at Finrod. Like, look at this person who, it's peacetime and all that, but he has his knife on him at all times, you know? At all times. And that's, I
thought
think,
weapons weren't allowed in Valinor.
And he obviously...
Well, not allowed, but...
Yeah. I think there's an element...
Maybe you should make that knife.
Yes.
Oh, that would be cool.
This is...
Oh, she's so cute.
Yeah, little munchkin. Yeah. It was a good ship, sister. I made it just as you taught me, which I love the idea of brother teaching sister origami. You know,
I'm sad that we got such a short time with that character. Maybe they'll come back, like flashback kind of situation, and he'll come back. And
her ears look very good. I just like makeup artists, like it looked very natural in her.
That's right. I think this is a pretty good speed, right? Like as we're going along,
yeah,
it pops up. There you go. Also, tiny little thing. It's just amazing detailing on the, like, was it like pearls? You know?
Yeah, I was noticing that too.
Tiniest detail, but still, you know, someone's
pearls are supposed to be for the Teleri, not the.
I love this.
Noldor.
You're quickly becoming a favorite among many who are listening. Ashley,
sorry,
that's cool.
Hey, but they talk about sharing their jewels, and
I like this face because, you know, when you're talking to a kid, you kind of like to kind of little face theater, like to amuse them, to entertain them. So he's
so good at that.
Yeah,
that's Abby.
That's right. And irresistible.
And how come he's not in more things? He needs to be in the next Heartthrob movie.
Sure. He has a little bit of, could be the sibling of the guy who plays Vecna energy from the Stranger Things.
I was just gonna say he looks like Vecna. He looks like Vecna to me.
Okay. We need to do these things more often because I feel like there's like things like, oh, that's gonna bug me. What is it? What is
Yeah.
it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the tingle thing that we were trying to figure out?
Tingle
Thingle,
thing.
why Thingle sounds?
Yes.
We haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
Single.
See, I'm such a by the way, these scripts, like every single line is poured over and like people talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
it. They have round tables. We obviously consume it. I have my own little mini rant about, I think I alluded to it, the instant gratification, the eroding of the attention span, definitely the increase in entitlement. It makes me so jaded. And everyone just suddenly thinks they're a fucking film critic. It's like, did you actually, were you in the writing room? Da, 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 da. Like, I can get very barbed, very Scorpio.
Yeah.
You know? I understand, like, in a different world, but that's why but that's why that's why the Tubby Podcast Network, like, we can actually just really like take these things we want to say and analyze, like just take our time to. And I know that the Sisters of the Shire is going to be the same. You guys are going to look back on Sisters of the Shire in like 20 years and just be like, oh my god, how about that? Like we just sort of chronicled this lovely kind of chunk of our like kinship with each other in like this revisitable way. Like audio is forever in a way. I think it's gonna be forever because of everyone.
The internet's forever.
That's right. So yeah.
Well, I'm giving you a warning right now that my family might come in again, so I might have to.
You mean they'll join?
Help.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. So my family
Oakley has a lot to say.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I might have to hop off soon because of helping a baby go to bed. But
that's fine. I appreciate you.
Yes, you might hear some children come in soon.
No worries. Guess how much we out of the 1 hour and 5 left? We discussed 2 minutes and 53 seconds.
I know. I'm like,
no, we there was so
I might
much.
have to leave soon too.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Sorry, Albert.
No, totally. And we once again, this ended up beautifully derailing in like the best way. When you meet kindred people, it's like initially thought we were just going to riff for a bit. In the course of this episode, I'm like, okay, you guys are coming over, you guys are family, energy family, vibe family, and we're gonna like meet up every week when we have these like, you know, on the week. I mean, again, if this time works. And the episode will be as you see it here. And what we'll do is we'll just go at like this pace, which is just like a little bit slower, and we'll just we'll cover it, you know, and we can skip forward, back and forth, you know. So, but yeah, how about we tail things off there, whispering grand things, because, you know, what better place to tail things off than right now? As much as
do that.
I know.
Sorry, I'm looking at his ears.
I know. Pretty good, right? See, because you're going
gotten so much better.
Yeah, they really have, haven't they? Yeah, maybe we'll let him finish his thing because that's kind of nice.
Yes.
Yes, and then you guys can mosey. Sometimes the light shines just as brightly reflected in the water as they do in the sky. I found this very poignant and beautiful. It's hard to say which way is up and which way is down. You know, discovering as kids have to do at some point that, you know, yeah, how am I to know which lights to follow? You know? I like how he actually pauses and really like considers that.
I was about to say, those answers don't come right off the cuff.
They don't.
But I like how they didn't give it away. They showed it later. I liked that.
Yeah, that's it. He has energy. Same with the Watch Warden of like, he looks like he's about to go to World War One. Like he looks like this.
Yes. Okay.
You know? Yeah.
Man, you're picking it right out of my brain, Albert.
Skillies. And Skillies is short for Skillies Bobillies, which is also another Australianism. As in,
I was wondering. I was like,
it all comes from when you say skills. Like Ashley has skills analytically, Abby has skills analytically, but you must discern them for yourself. I won't always be here. See, that's also curious. You know, this idea right from the beginning, which is another thing kids have to realize at one point. It's like, literally, I won't be here forever, even if you're an elf. Which is weird because, like, how many people have died at this point? I don't think any people have died yet, and he's already thinking, like, I might not be here. Yeah, I just love how she's holding his little dagger there. It's been like, well, I guess I've learned of some of the darknesses of the world. I have my little dagger, and I guess I'm setting off on my little adventure. I guess it's like, you adorable Gladriel. Yes. You'll be fine. We're all at Galadriel inside. We had no word for death. Like
I loved that.
That's right.
Hi, Runa.
There you go.
It's like the Eskimos and the
is
word
my
for snow
Galadriel.
kind of thing.
Hello. Speaking of, look, you're on screen. Look, that's you.
I know. It is
Great
you.
to meet you. Hello. That's it.
This,
Did you enjoy
this Luna
Luna? Very good. Beautiful
after
name.
Luna from Harry Potter.
Yeah, and also Luna, the moon in Italian, you know. My name for my fiance,
Yes.
get ready to roll your eyes, is Belluna, which is beautiful moon. Belluna. And then
Her middle name is Evelina. So her name is Luna Evelina. And it is Celtic for light. So her name is Moonlight.
Okay, all right. I mean, see you next week.
I never would have gotten away with that.
Luna Evelina also.
We married different people.
All of my children are called Bob.
Yeah.
I don't know. What? Yeah, you can tell me whatever, as little or as much as you like of the nomenclature of your children. I love names, Gavin. I really do. And
so I have a fox and a Luna, a fox, a Luna, and an oak. Those are.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, well, you're gonna jump on the Wizarding World podcast then. We're looking at getting lady who played Dumbledore's sister on the show soon. She's really lovely on Instagram. Yeah, so Ariana Dumbledore. So if you ever want to speak with the actress who plays Ariana, I will be calling you for that.
My youngest, my baby, I wanted something Tolkien-ish, but not on the nose. And so his name is Oakley Archer. And so it's I feel very like elven,
Oakley
but like
Archer tree.
but it's very elven in a way of like how they kind of describe their what's his name, Legolas Greenleaf, like very like it's more objects instead of like beautiful.
Yeah, just
that's my homage to Tolkien is my little Oakley Archer.
Oh my! I mean, and that
he's gonna grow up hating Lord of the Rings.
No, I couldn't get my husband to let me have a Strider.
Yeah.
Or I was gonna have Oakley's middle name be Ranger, which I was so close, but he didn't want that.
There you go.
I loved this scene.
I did too. This is
even though there was no spider vibe at all.
It's no spider vibes at all. Not even an allusion to it, because we're going at this deliberate of a pace, we can spot any kind of.
It does look like webs, yeah.
You are freaking me out because that was literally what I was just about to say. Like the idea of.
But I wouldn't have noticed it unless we did it this way. I like it.
Isn't that okay? So I'm hopefully making a case for like it is additive to go through things go through an episode at this pace, right? Like,
no, I like it.
Okay, destroyed the very light of our home.
I wish I had all the time in the world to do it. Is my problem. Like, can I do this as a job? I want to do this all the time.
Yeah.
All day, every day.
Leave me with it. The idea is to get top TPN to a certain point where it's like we can do this live with an audience or whatever, and then they can donate, and then every episode is like a certain amount for each of you, and that could be great, But down the line, I love the idea. It's gonna happen. Make it happen. The idea that the death of the trees creates this like Morgoth shape, So
I loved that. So good.
Which also did Sauron steal his style? Like he's like
Indeed.
in the later one.
He stole his crown.
Yeah.
This is reference number 2 to Fellowship, which, by the way, there's so many beautiful moments that map.
But there were some who resisted it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
There you go. The first reference being exactly is that it's Galadriel narrating. That's inherently a reference to Fellowship. A lot of I think Matt from Nerd of the Rings mentioned, for me, when I thought of this in the book, it was just the lights were off. And then I just have to pause and give Matt a big hug. And I would say, Matt, that's fine. But cinematically, I don't think just black screen is going to work, Once again, we have to think about what works within the medium that's being told. And
Yeah.
So there you go. Also,
Okay, yeah, Abby doesn't know this part.
Okay.
But technically one of these would be Fëanor.
Yeah.
Just
however,
think of that in your brain, Abby.
Someone
go ahead.
Clarified that because of this, it seems like the oath of what you're talking about.
Okay, is it not?
It's not, because Finrod's there.
Because Finrod's there. Yeah, that was my wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he was also the one that was pushing it, though.
So
yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. So there's a
we'll get to it. Yeah.
We'll get to it. That's right.
Okay, we need to do the episode, and then we'll talk, Abby.
That's right. But the thing is, Finrod, a lot of these names have like similar Aragorn, Arathorn. So I think it's a just illusion, definitely. Also, their armor, once again, because we're going at this slow of a
pace. Not like this scene. I did not like that next scene.
Okay, that's okay.
Not accurate.
Okay, all right.
But Abby doesn't know about it yet, so we can't talk about it.
Okay.
So maybe we should stop.
No, you want to stop? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's stop.
We both have to go. But
okay. Bye.
Abby will do our episode, and then we have to go right now. But
really? Okay, I can continue then.
Oh, I'm just saying to stop on the video thing because that was something I wanted to talk about with Abby.
Well, then that's totally fine, and I think we did that quite well. So bye. Let's wave to Galadriel in this one shot.
Oh, bye.
So back we go. I mean, that's okay. No worries. And that's the thing is, if you want me to continue, we can scrub through the episode though. You can keep doing that, or but not now because you guys are busy and you gotta go live your life. Go and live.
Gotta go get those babies.
Those babies. Now, which one?
To bed.
Which one am I sending you guys? I picked these up from the.
We're both like, you have our attention.
Yes. As well as the because I mean, so you Gryffindor, I think, right, Ashley?
I'm half Gryffindor, half Ravenclaw. She can have Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw.
She can have
Okay, so I will send these. That will also be in a letter of some kind. So look out for that and send me so that I can send them to you. So it'll be like a little tiny thing, and that's just the first of many. Seriously, guys, and that's another thing is keep doing what you're doing with your wonderful podcast and sending all the good energy.
Thank you.
Always, okay?
Thank you.
Big love. And I hope
believe it or not, you are probably the only, we've only had a handful of people actually feedback. So we're just putting this out in the universe and we're just hope you like it.
Okay.
So this helps.
I mean, look at my body. Body language speaks more than anything. I'm just the and it is because you're just doing something. You got to go. I think you have to go. She's muted.
Oh, okay. Can't hear you, Abby.
I said I would love to have your address because I want to send you something.
Oh well, it'll be on the thing when I send it. So maybe just send me a little Instagram message. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I am very excited. This is going to be. There's various things that I just love that we're sending things, and that people in 2022 sending stuff in the mail was
mail.
Indeed, yes.
Happy mail.
Fantastic. Giant hugs.
It's cool.
Where did you even get that, Abby?
That is very cool. Oh my god. Yeah.
Love it.
Let the snail mail begin. That's right.
Yes.
Such fun.
Thank you for inviting us to do this today. It was so awesome.
Let me edit it up.
Fun. It's fun to talk
about
about it with people who have the passion and the love of it, because you kind of just and then you're oh, I'm so excited.
Life's too short to not have that kind of unfettered. A lot of people are well, I'm just going to hold back on how I really feel about this so I can seem cool. It's in the meantime, time is ticking. It's will you think of that on your deathbed? It's at least I was cool that one time, and I didn't show my full passion for things. It's life is so short. We're not elves. We have to just be super unfettered, and that's why I cut straight to it with people. It's you are a wonderful energy out there in the world as human beings, as Tolkien community, participants and espousers, for this earnestness and loveliness. And just in 2022, talking to a show that energetically feels extremely 90s, you guys, it's just so heartening and lovely. And just couldn't be happier to have the first group podcast be with you guys and to be
Woohoo!
that Venn diagramming of our world. So giant further big
Yes.
hugs. Make sure to have a lovely rest of your weekend. Let me
Oh,
edit this
You
up.
too.
Well, we
Mhm.
have to do this again.
That's right. Now we
Yes.
have all the hours in the world to do it, and the next time we jump on, it'll immediately be at the beginning, ready to scrub through on episode 3.
Yeah.
So we can just get straight to it because there was just lots of bouncing off the wall like stuff. Okay, we need to also
Which is
learn how to
also
say-
great.
I know, it was fun. We need to learn how to say all the things in Elvish, but like my go on then, like have a beautiful day. Bye guys.
No, I wanted to start doing that. With
Yeah.
Ashley. I'm like, I want to learn one Elvish word, like at the
Just like to say
end of-
goodbye. How to say goodbye in Elvish.
See.
There you go. And this will
Isn't
be
it like Galadriel
Namaria.
says something that sounds like
Namaria.
Namari.
Namaria.
Namari.
That's right. You want to start rolling your R's to like impress people. Namaria. Like
Namari. Namari.
That's right. Abby, can you roll your R's?
Yes, I can. I'm actually part
Half
South
Colombian.
American. So,
Oh,
I can-
very good. Namaria.
so I don't have any. Well, my
I'm waiting for you
maiden
to roll
name-
your R's.
My maiden name was Fernandez.
Oh, very cool. Fernandez.
So I used to be able to do that, but now I've got my last name isn't so fun. But my
That's-
new
oh my
last name
god. Womp womp.
isn't so fun to say.
Step it up, Colt. Step it
I
up.
know.
Bowden is great.
People-
Bowden is
People
like
say it. People say
Bono,
it wrong a
Odin.
lot.
Bowden? Is it
Bowden.
Bowden? Yeah.
Bowden.
Awesome. That's awesome. There you go.
And I've heard that it's like the correct way to say it because I've heard people say like it's not like in England people used to say David Bowie instead of David Bowie. But I'm like,
That just
okay,
makes
that
me
sounds
cringe
weird.
automatically.
You're like, no.
Abigail and Ashley, I've had such a good time with both of you. There you go. My dear Barry accent.
I love it.
But-
That was
but-
actually pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it
They're-
was. You have to
I
do
love-
this
Yeah.
to get the impression right.
We're having such a good time on the Rings of
Yeah.
Power. Yeah. Oh, they're making the Labyrinth sequel, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
My
we
daughter
saw
just
Labyrinth.
went through a
made my
labyrinth
kids
phase,
watch
so
that
that's-
movie. I just made
Dance
my kids watch that movie.
Dance Magic Dance.
Dance, magic dance. Yeah, my
Dance.
4-year-old is
as a
watching
mom
that.
as a mom now, I cannot handle that kid crying in that movie. I'm like,
I know.
pick him up,
Yeah. But
pick
then
him up.
just every time you see that, imagine, because Toby Froud, he's all growed up now. He's a puppeteer. He works just like his dad, the guy who designed all the goblins, and he's like this. He worked on the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance as like I love that show as well.
I love that. I love that he kept in
Did he have a
Henson.
choice though?
Right.
Henson world.
I've witnessed across this episode the perfect chemistry of you guys. Like you just come the Abby is the yin to the Ashley Yang.
We-
and
It is a very weird thing that we are very different people,
Hmm.
but the same. I don't know
We
how we
are.
work, Abby, but
There you go.
love you cuz.
I know.
I think on that note of kinship across all kinds of different vibes and oceans and through technology, if I could pull you both from my screen out here, Willy Wonka style, we'd be having some snacks, now, all that fun stuff. But look, have a lovely rest of your weekend. Enjoy the next episode,
Yes.
and I will send you right
Yeah.
now the details. But basically, essentially, this time next week, and we'll hang out again. Love. Great to
Okay.
meet you. Take it easy,
Excited.
boy.
Bye.
me?